Okay, so this is the first interesting hand.
Yep, it is.
There used to be this myth going around that when you opened and someone shoved for 10 bigs, you could never fold because your odds were too good. I think for chip EV, that's probably more the case. It used to be more the case when you opened for 3x. You know, like a few years ago, people used to open for 3x. I mean, we're going back quite a while now. And when someone shoved for 10 bigs, you would probably shove. And that's the whole reason why people say if you've got 10 bigs, you should probably just shove rather than 3xing, because you're never going to fold when someone else raises. Now we make smaller raise sizes. The odds that we're getting are not so great. What do you think here, though?
That's basically like what I thought is with 10 big blinds, he might shove hands which we're doing okay against. Like even if he has like some weak aces, basically like if we got 2 live cards, we're doing good. Exactly like the reason, when you min open, he shoves 10 big blinds, you kind of feel like you have to call. So that's basically what I went for, and just hoping you have 2 live cards. But this is pretty much like from the Broadway hands, it's probably the bottom that I call. Maybe Jack Queen suited I call as well, but that's about it from the Broadway.
Yeah. So obviously the upside here is that we pick up pretty nice pot. We go up to 41k. We go into 4th place, which we're kind of in at the moment anyway. And if we fold, I just want to show you something in Hold'em Resources calculator. So let's copy this hand in.
By the way, Gareth, I switched from Icemizer to HRC, so I'm gonna need some guidance a little bit later on. I'm gonna ask you some questions.
Good stuff. Yeah, well, I'll walk you through this hand analysis. So you just paste the hand in here, like just put some stacks in.
Yeah, I know.
For anyone else watching, they might not do. I'm going to choose ICM. I think this is the payout. I've just chosen the 180 man payout on HRC, so this should be the right payout. No bounties. Okay, so you open for 25.80 and he shoves all in. So we just want to keep things basic rather than choosing flat calls. HRC does a really bad job of flat calls here, so I would probably just use it for push fold and any kind of where you shove or raise all in rather than flat. So you raise here. What's your range for opening from under the gun here? Bearing in mind, let's go back to the hand. 20 bigs. There's a short stack here.
So ace jack plus, probably 7s plus.
Yeah.
Ace 9 suited plus. And that's about it, I would say.
Okay, what about these broadways?
Obviously, yeah, those as well, of course.
Yeah, and king queen off.
Yeah, we're not too happy about it.
Okay, well, maybe half the time.
Okay, yeah, that's about it.
Okay, so I'm just going to click finish now. So if he knows our range, then he has a perfect response. But also we can use this to say, okay, if he's playing perfectly, then these are the hands that we should continue with. So we look at his range, and his range for shoving is actually pretty tight, right?
Yeah, it is like, that's what I was thinking about as well. Like he shoves to my, under the gun open. So
yeah,
and I played with him on a table before as well. So we got some history together. So it was just like, a really like crying call on my side. Basically.
Yeah. Okay. So let's just have a look at his range. I'm going to fire this up into Equilab in a minute. So you've got King Jack suited, and he has 10s plus, Ace Queen plus, and maybe Ace Jack suited. So from a purely chip EV point of view, you need 35% equity. Told us that in Poker Tracker, and we've only got 33. So he needs to be shoving wider than this. He's got King Queen suited as well. Not that that's going to help us too much. Okay, so for chip EV, this is the whole thing that I was saying about 10 big blinds. Like this, his range for chip EV is probably wider than this, but on a final table, this is the the range that if he knew your range, this is what he should respond with. Do you think we can go any wider than this range?
Yeah, like try to put some mid pairs there, like 7s through 9s.
Okay. Now, bearing in mind the situation, there's this guy with 4.5 pigs, and you're raising from under the gun. Like, we do have to think that maybe, you know, he can be... these might not be in his range. And even if, like... Even if we end up folding here, we're not making a huge mistake because, well, we'll see in a minute whether it's a mistake or not to call or to fold. But let's just try this. Okay, so yeah, so he needs the 7s and 8s to call for chip EV. But that's without even factoring an ICM, because if we lose here, we go down to 10 bigs, and we are in 8th place at that. 8th place, because this guy's in 9th, and so your chances then you're going to be busting 8th quite a lot of the time. So let's have a look at HRC. So he shoves a very tight range, and your calling range is very, very tight as well.
Yep.
So even if, like, okay, let's put in 7s, 8s, and 9s as well, and run it again.
Still not a call, I think, right?
Correct.
Yep.
Yeah. So it's just with ICM, like, it's just you have to just become very, very tight versus shoves. When there's a lot of your stack at risk, you want to be the one shoving and putting the pressure on, rather than the other way around. So I honestly think this is a mistake to call here. And like for chip EV, like if he's wide and he's just reckless, and that's fine. Like we saw that if he's shoving 7s, 8s, then it's a call. But here with ICM, I don't think it is.
I kind of didn't like the call as well. After I called, I was just like, you know, I just really hope I'm gonna have 2 live cards there, even if I'm against like ace queen.
Yeah, that's true.
I don't know.
That's true. Yeah, but we just don't want to get ourselves into those spots. I know what it feels like. Like you're probably on the stream and everyone's like, "Oh, it's 10 bigs. How do you can't fold?"
Yeah,
here.
and it was like 3 a.m. as well, 7 hours into the stream.
Yeah. So, but like these are the spots like this. I don't know how much money you would be losing. Like if this guy's shoving correctly. What's the price? It's a 180 man, right? So it's a $180. So whatever that 0.5% is. That's not right. 84 cents. So it's almost a buy-in. If I've done that maths correctly. If anyone sees that the maths is incorrect, please comment down below. But I'm pretty sure that's right. So yeah, almost a buy-in. Like that's pretty big. Okay, definitely shoving here. This is good. Okay, so you just shove here for 15 bigs. What are your thoughts?
Yep. Yeah, I just thought to myself, since the short stack doubled, I think.
Yeah.
I was the short stack at this point, so.
Yeah, it's definitely profitable. Would you shove aces and kings here?
I might mix it up actually. Like the strongest, probably like aces, kings might be a mid open just to like induce on the guys on my left to do something, or trick them to think they have some fold equity or whatever. But yeah.
Let's just have a quick look at this one. So as we said, it's very, very profitable. The thing is that if you're not inducing with these hands, let's say you don't induce, sorry, you don't shove with these hands, you just induce. I would think I would still go ahead and shove ace king. Maybe let's do it like half the time. And let's just run it again. I just want to see the value of king queen suited, whether it stays the same or goes up or down. And so as soon as you get rid of those strong hands, king queen suited drops out, and the reason for that is that calling ranges become wider. Like as soon as they know you don't have aces or kings or queens, then the range can get wider. So it's pretty interesting to see king queen suited suddenly become a losing play. I guess in game you've got to work out whether you think someone's capable of understanding that, like knowing that you don't have the top of your range, therefore they can call wider. I mean, to be honest, like this isn't particularly wide. Like you look at some of these ranges, 10s plus ace queen, 9s plus ace queen, like it's still pretty tight. So it's an interesting one with king queen suited. I think it's worth just thinking about whether or not shoving is definitely profitable. If you are going to shove aces and kings, then fine. If you're not, then we've seen that it's going to be unprofitable.
Yep.
So and you can definitely just min raise.
This hand. What do you think? Like, I wasn't sure if I should min raise or just straight up shove. How much? I wouldn't, 17 bigs.
Yeah, I wouldn't shove. I would just I'd min raise. I don't think you'd want to shove any hands here. Maybe ace queen, but honestly, like when you min raise here and then you get shoved on, like you can fold a lot of the time, and I don't think you're going to get exploited too much here. So I think min raise is good, and it's a strong enough hand. If you get flatted, it's it's absolutely fine. You can do either check or bet here. I think you generally want to have easy decisions once you're short. The thing is, if you bet, let's say a quarter pot, let's say 2k, 2.2k. If either player raises, you can probably just fold, even though you're supposed to continue with a 2 overs, a backdoor flush draw, backdoor straight draw. There's just not enough chips behind to really want to do that, and you don't want to burn through chips at final table. Like ICM is just so important concept. So yeah, I think betting and folding here would be absolutely fine. I don't think you're folding away too much equity, and I just don't think like you'd block like the most obvious like queen jack hand that's gonna check jam or check raise. So yeah, that's good. So I think I'd probably just bet here. They check again.
I did that on a turn.
yeah. I think this is good. I think we've just given them an opportunity to see another card. So 2 players seeing one more card is just gonna. I mean, not that 3 really helps either player. Like they don't have 10-3, 9-3, 3 deuce. I guess they occasionally have pocket 3s if they're bad. But I think the big blind can flat 3 too. So honestly, I think I'd probably just try and get this to showdown now. But I don't think the bet can be too bad, and definitely just fold to this. Okay, so flat here. 2 overs and a flush draw. This guy just shoves. What do you think?
We calling. I mean,
does ICM play a factor here?
Definitely does. Like this is the Dida guy on my left is sitting out, and also the Maxandro guy. I think either the Maxandro, it's Maxandro is sitting out. Dida is sitting out. So I wasn't too happy about it. Like I didn't know what to do pre-flop. Like
I think flat's fine. I think I'll sort of. From a sort of basic point of view with ICM, we want to be the people, the person shoving rather than the person calling. And like here, we it says we need 32% equity. We need way more than that because of ICM. Because if we lose here, we bust in 9th.
Yep.
And if we win, yes, okay, we go up to 41k and we are 3rd in chips, so that improves our chances, considerably. But the downside is that busting in 9th really sucks. So I'm not going to do it now, but I think I might put together an article or something looking at the sort of the ICM difference and how much equity difference you need. It'll be much higher than 32%. So I think if he ends up having 10s, I think here. Spoiler alert. Oh, whoops. Let's take this down here. So against his exact hand, like you have enough equity to call it off, and chances are he's just going to bet aces and kings and not just shove them. So it's going to be some hands like jacks, 10s, probably not 9s either. Could maybe be 8s, but maybe like 10s and 9s, and maybe a 9x ace 9. Just wants to protect now. So I would say that you've got a tremendous equity, and so ordinarily it would be a call, but because of the ICM, this number here is going to be way higher, and you might find that we need it to be like 50%. We might just against this exact hand here we're fine, But you know, he might be doing, like, I don't know, he could have a very strong hand, like fives. It's probably unlikely given his raise from with his stack size from this position. But I think I think it's going to be pretty close. So the whole point here is that we need a much higher equity than 32%. So yeah, we'll come back to that one. But yeah, pretty good spot. But I think if you had, well, let's say you have a lower flush draw, like something like.
That's what I thought as well. Like if he shoves like, I don't know, 10s, 8s, something like that. Even if he has like ace 9 occasionally and just decides to shove.
Yeah.
Obviously not ace 9 of diamonds, that would suck. But like the fact that we have overcards might be like, you know, a bonus factor for us.
Yeah, I mean,
with the pleasure.
Yeah, you've highlighted a good point there. That obviously we've run a calculation that's just hand versus hand. Now, obviously he has a range, so you know hands like ace 9 suited definitely in there. I would say jacks as well, and so equity drops a little bit. But you know he could be the kind of guy that does have aces and wants to shove. So it's just it's not as clear as okay, we definitely need to call. I'm just thinking if you had like a weaker flush, most of your flushes have either, so your flush draws have some sort of gut shot as well, like 7-6 is an open ender, 8-7 is a gut shot. Yeah, so all of these hands actually have a pretty decent amount of equity. But I think having the 2 overcards here is probably what's going to tip this to being a call. But as I said, like if he does ever turn up with aces, kings, and queens, let's have a look. Yeah, so it's not, you know, it was what 53%, now it's 47. As I said, my guess would be that we need like 50% equity, but because of ICM. But yeah, I'll put together an article and we'll look at that in more detail so that we're not just spending time doing it now. I would imagine it's pretty close, like in game, like it doesn't look close at all, but I think it's probably closer than a lot of people think. Okay, so 8 left. Okay, so this guy's sitting out, right?
Yep.
What about this one?
Nope. Short seg, the guy is playing as well. He's there as well.
Okay, let's try and simulate this by saying this guy doesn't do anything. Okay, so we're good to go. Even if that guy was sitting in, like if he calls off with this range. Let's just have a look at this guy's calling range, because you can see how tight it is. Like chip EV wise, it's going to be way wider. But here, like he's got a few things going wrong for him right now. If he calls and loses, he's out in 8th. There's 1, 2, 3 stacks that are shorter than him, 2 of whom are sitting out. So yeah, he doesn't really want to be calling off particularly wide here. This guy is not calling with anything because he's not there. Then we go up to 56, and we can shove all of these hands. Do you think you would shove all of these hands?
Not all of them, obviously. It's interesting, like, 9-7 off. I'm not sure if I was shoving that, but like...
Yeah, I don't think you want to be taking the marginal spots here. So, like, looking at the value of aces, you could use that as a sort of benchmark, and... sort of 10% of aces is going to be 0.12, so I would say anything like 0.1 and above is probably going to be. So yeah, looking at this is easier to read now. So yeah, actually going with all of these hands, but again, you'd probably be inducing with these hands. So you like the bottom end of this range is just going to lose its value because a lot of it comes from fold equity, and your opponents think that you have, if they think you have strong hands in your range, they end up folding more often. But if they can take these hands out of your range, they call more often, and then these hands don't benefit from that fold equity.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, I think would you open this normally, or like in early in the tournament?
Nah, given the early, yeah, but given the circumstances now with a short stack and you know, people sit out and stuff. Like if I open here and like I think it would be a similar spot to the King Jacks, but like if I open and Gareth shoves, like don't you think it's the same spot as earlier with the King Jack? Like you open and you feel like you have to call now.
Yeah. Yeah, I think you more have to call this one, yeah, because he's got like 6 and a bit bigs. Yeah, I think you're right. Yeah, I think it's there's just too many short stacks. Okay, if these two are sitting out, fair enough. But this guy can shove, this guy can shove, and all of them can shove because like if it folds around to him, like he can actually shove really wide, and you can't.
And of course, like
you can't call very wide at all because you've got all of these short stacks. So yeah, I think it's a good fold. Okay, similar spot here, do you think?
Yeah, shove as well.
Yeah, I think you probably can.
Shove as well here.
Let's just check to make sure.
At some point, the guy on my left came back. Did a guy? I'm not sure when it was.
Okay, yeah. So
but still, even if he's there, I think it can still be a shove, right?
Yeah. So yeah, 0.09. Yeah, I think it's a good shove, and you can just look at their calling ranges. I mean, the downside here, like we shove, and most of the time they fold, and we win 3,600, which doesn't really change things. But we do apply a ton of pressure to these players. Like these two are not; they really don't want to call off very wide at all here. You can see like 7, 8, 9%.
Big blind is not in play, so big blind is
okay. That's going to help us no end. Yeah. So now it goes way up, 0.25. Yeah. So I would definitely shove here. Okay. So small blind. Does he just blind out? Or does he get it in? Oh, okay, gets it in here. Wow. I mean, that A6 off call.
Yeah, the netty guy was really...
So this is the whole thing of like 10 big blinds. He just, well, it's like 11, isn't it? He just thinks, okay, I've raised, I've got to call it off. We saw earlier that I think we had the same equity. And we saw at King Jack suited wasn't a call. So A6 off, like, it's just not going to be.
Yeah, the netty guy was... Yeah. A lot of interesting stuff from him, especially the last hand when I got to the heads up.
Okay.
Thanks to his punt, it's gonna be really interesting to watch. I hope you're gonna show that.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's good. I mean, you have very few aces now, so like if you're playing against a very good opponent, you probably have to continue. I'm just not sure that you can continue with 6-5. You're going to have some queen X, but some of your queen X you're going to raise on the flop. As I said, you don't really have too many ace-X. I think you probably shove or raise, yeah. So, yeah, if he knows that, then this is a great card for him because he can limp ace-X hands. And he knows it's not a very good card for you. But yeah, I think just the fact that this card is better for him just allows him to do that, and you end up folding a little bit too much. Also, like, he covers you, so he can apply a ton of pressure on the river, and that kind of sucks. So I think bailing at this juncture is good.
Yep.
Okay, thoughts here?
The guy on my left is not there, and I have Queen Jack suited. Yeah, I'm falling. Like
it's a big yeah, exactly. It's a big raise as well. And also
exactly.
we just
like if he min open, maybe we can flat, like take it to the flop.
Yeah. Yeah,
but like the size, it makes it really awkward for us to flat here, and play the hand out of position, you know.
Yeah. We really don't want to bust before the guy that's sitting out because it's just going to blind away. But we don't want to pass up on profitable spots. The thing is, like, you could shove. Normally, you could potentially shove here.
Yep.
But we've already seen him raise call with ace-6 off. Like, we need to have fold equity here in order for it to be profitable. And I just don't think we do against this guy. Okay, so you do flat.
No way.
And then we end up folding. Yeah, I feel like it's probably just too many chips to call. And I think you know this as well. Like 4.4.
I literally thought I folded. It was 3 a.m. Gareth.
Yeah, I'll let you off.
Actually, no, it was like 4 a.m. at this point. Oh, I remember why I called. I know exactly why. Cause like it was like third or fourth time he did that, and Queen Jack just looked nice to me.
Yeah, looked pretty. Yeah. Okay.
Like no, not Queen Jack.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, you know that it's a fold. Wow. Yeah. 4-bet. We've seen a 4-bet, so it's probably just aces. I can't imagine it's particularly light 4-bet there for more than half his stack. So is Dida still sitting out, or is he back? Oh no, he must still be sitting out.
Yeah, still until the end.
This is criminal. This guy's just giving you a walk.
Yeah. I laughed as well on the stream. Like he was adding pressure like all the time, and then blind was blind. He just folded.
Yeah.
Dida is out. What do actually go back? Like there were some, or actually not before this. I think it was ace-10. I had ace-10 at some point.
Oh yeah, so it went raise 3-bet. I think it was a good fold.
Yeah.
Again, you don't have any fold equity. This guy, honestly, like your range here should be super tight. Because this guy's just gonna bust, and you just lock up the next page.
Yeah, because there was some guy in the chat who bashed me for this. I'm like, bro, I honestly, I did not remember the spot exactly, so I was like, I might have made a mistake or something, but seeing this now is like, we can't go there. Like,
no, let's just have a look at it. So if we just let HRC do its thing in ranges, like it will spit out some really weird ranges, like opening offsuit ace-X and stuff. But even if it does that, you can see that your range for getting it in is jacks plus ace queen suited. It says 10s here, but it's actually losing. So I mean, ace-10 off is just losing like a lot of money.
Yep.
So yeah, we just cannot get it in with ace-10 there. I mean, his range probably isn't even as wide as 20% either, and it's definitely not this range. Just wanted to sort of highlight a point that we just cannot do anything because of the guy in the big blind.
To be honest, I'm not even sure if I would get it in with jacks.
Yeah, I mean, it feels pretty gross, honestly.
Like you're gonna ladder up in the next hand.
Yeah. What do you think about this one?
Always a shove for me.
Yeah? I mean, is it a chip EV shove?
Yep.
Are you sure?
Like we hold on.
I'm testing you now. I'm putting you on the spot. Okay. So this is the chip EV shove. The big difference here, I mean, if you're playing full ring, there are more antes in the middle. I don't think that king 8 off is going to be a shove for 10 bigs, even full ring from the cutoff. But as you get shorter, there's less money to win, so your M value goes up, which means you need to shove tighter. So I don't think this is a shove. You can see like it wants you to shove king 10 plus here, and then that's just for chip EV. So for ICM, like it's going to be much tighter, I would imagine. Yeah.
That's interesting.
Yeah, so I would definitely fold here with king 8. I think it's definitely a fold. Oh, okay.
What if the big blind calls pretty wide?
I think that makes you want to shove even tighter, but let's simulate it. So let's say I've gone as wide as Jack 10. Let's say this was his range instead. Yeah, wants you to go much tighter. So 11%. And you can't even shove King Queen off. Can't shove Ace 8 off. Yeah, so that really hurts you. Like his mistake is hurting both of you because the equity is just the benefit goes to these two guys. But yeah, it's him calling off a Jack 10. It's just really bad. And that sounds kind of counterintuitive that he's calling wide, therefore we should be able to shove King 8 off. But it's just not. Yeah, it's just not the case because of ICM. Oh, nice. Yeah, I like it. Give this guy an opportunity.
Exactly.
That's
I wasn't
an interesting
sure
bet.
here. I wasn't sure here. Like, I actually thought we might make it like 20k to make him call off with like a random deuce at 10 or something. But then I thought to myself, like, the guy doesn't like to fold, so I went with a shove.
Yeah. Do you think there's ever any argument to just call?
Yeah, against certain type of opponents, against that bet sizing, I guess. But against this guy in particular, with what I've seen from him, I think it's of course, like, Jack 3 is like the worst Jack X that we can have at this point, right? It's just like, of course, like it can look like, you know, that we need to just call sometimes, especially with the Scorpio guy being short. We don't really just like wanna, you know, shove against certain type of opponents. Once again, but against my boy Netty, I think we can go for value.
I agree. I think there's, you know, if you don't think your opponent's going to call you with worse, then you can't really shove because, you just like it's the same value as calling, but you just lose when you're behind. So it's even worse in a way.
Like if this was against the button, let's say the bet Teddy guy, I might actually just like call because like still you can have some stronger Jack X, you can have pocket tens, Ace King got there, you know.
Absolutely.
Like against my boy Netty.
Yeah, he seems pretty wild, and he will call you with like a queen or a 10 or probably a deuce.
Whatever.
Because your hand, like in his eyes, like you call the turn with your flush draws, and then you miss, and you think the only way to win it. Like in his eyes, I mean, like he can think that. So yeah, I think it's okay. Okay, what do we do here?
Open call if small blind shoves.
Yeah, again, like it might be pretty close. But I think it's like these positions are much better than when we open from under the gun and get shoved on. And the reason, like, some of you, like, you might be thinking this, or anyone watching this might be thinking, it's got to be pretty tight if you raise here and he shoves. Like, your odds are going to be great. But again, it's the ICM factor is that we just, you know, we don't want to call off particularly wide here. Ace 9 is probably going to be too strong to fold. But if you had Ace Deuce off like that, I think there's an argument for raise folding for sure. Yeah, given that he covers you, I think you probably have to fold. I mean, having like a high-ish card, and a backdoor flush draw might make you want to call a lot of the time. But here, like, you just don't want to mess with this guy when he can just he can apply pressure to you without even realizing that he's applying pressure. Like he's just sort of blindly betting, and that's not great for you when there's a guy with 7 bigs. Yeah, good fold. Okay, let's see how this guy busted. Okay, fair enough.
I called it out on the stream as well. I was like 10.
Okay, King 5. Okay, so an interesting now 3-handed. We're 3 of 3. We've got the big blind who's wild, got all the chips. What do you want to do here?
An open. At least I hope I've been opened.
That's good. Yeah, and then here.
C-bet. For sure.
Yeah. What do you do on this turn?
Check back.
Okay.
Check back against my boy Netty. Because like if I bet here, I'm pot committed.
I don't think you are. I think
What do
you
you
can
think
actually
so?
bet fold. Do you bet like
But how much would I
like
bet? Like
9 or 10k?
9 or 10k.
And then he shoves. Like you don't have the odds to call, and definitely not with ICM in play. So you and you're trying to get like a 6x or a 4x to fold. Like an ace is never folding.
I think he would do like actually did nothing here as an ace, because like if he had an ace, he's probably doing something with it pre-flop, given his style.
So if that's your understanding in this hand, then I think applying pressure here to get a 6 or a 4 to fold seems
that's right.
pretty
Like
good.
if I don't think he has an ace, we should actually bet the turn as well, right?
Yeah. Okay, at this point, his range looks very, very weak, like a 6 or a 4.
I just remembered this hand. It's gonna be a funny.
What sizing do you want to choose?
Like half pot, or even like smaller sometimes, just like to get called by 4x or 6x. I think that's what I went with. I went with like 6k, no, 9k. Okay, but look what he called with.
Wow.
That's...
Okay. Good. Yeah, I think. Yeah.
I mean, I wasn't expecting to get value out of deuces, but like.
No, but.
Actually, watching it now, I should go smaller, right?
I think it's probably like you said, like half pot.
It's okay.
First. Yeah, I think it's fine. Honestly. Okay, so tell me why you don't see bet here.
I have no idea.
I mean, you have a decent amount of showdown. He's very call happy. But the thing is, it's just very tough for him to have hit this board.
Of course.
So.
Can easily see bet here.
Yeah. Nice run out.
The sizing as well, once again, just like.
Yeah, I mean, just screams so much strength, doesn't it? What do you want to do?
Yeah, hero call for sure.
Yeah.
Like,
What's he bluffing?
What is he bluffing?
Yeah.
Air. Like if he, I don't know, maybe some weaker queen X, we still beat like queen. No, actually, don't we split right against queen 10 and stuff.
I mean, this sizing really looks like it's very polarized, right? It's either strong hand or nothing. But I'm just trying to think, like, does he do this with 9-10? King 10 you block. Like he can have flushes, he can have the random full house. I would prefer to have a spade in my hand, like either like the king of spades mainly. Yeah, I don't think this is great. I really don't like this call here. Like he's already
like
shown
my hero call.
He's already shown to be a station, and when passive players bet big on an obvious card, they, even if they're bluffing a little bit of the time, like they're not bluffing enough of the time. So it seems really nitty to want to fold here, but that's this you got a sort of adjustment against a passive player, and having the king of spades would be much better because it just reduces the number of flushes that he can have. But yeah, I'm definitely not thrilled to call here. I mean, I've no words. Yeah. I mean, if your understanding of this player is that he's suddenly gonna just spaz out with this kind of hand, then you have to call, yeah. But he's clearly not as passive as we thought he was. Or I'm just a nit and want to fold there. Okay. Wow.
This is wild as well.
Yeah, that's crazy. And Wow. Well, both.
uh,
I mean, what? Fours versus ace 8-4 for 40 bigs.
5-bet jam with 4-8 or something like that. 5-bet jam, right?
Six. No, it's a 6. I think it's a 6.
Six.
1, 2, 3, 4. Oh no, it's 5. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, 5.
Wow.
6.
I mean, GG.
That's ridiculous.
That is ridiculous. Okay, a good walk to begin with. So what's your general strategy heads up?
Slower beginning, like try to understand my opponent first and what is he up to and how is he gonna try to adjust against us. So my beginnings in heads ups are really just like straight up or straightforward.
Yeah.
And just really trying to, understand what my opponent's, plan is for his heads up. If he's gonna just like, add a ton of pressure, especially like if he has a chip advantage over us, like how is he gonna, manage it? So from the beginning, I just try to like, try to understand my opponent and his tendencies heads up. Cause like, as you know, like heads up is just a totally different game from, when there are more players at the table. So, what I perceived this player to be might not be the case anymore in heads ups,
Yeah.
So that's what I always try to do at the beginning. I just try to like play straightforward and just really try to understand what he's up to and how is he gonna navigate through this heads up.
Okay, cool. So c-bet here, and he calls. Do you think there's any argument to just check back here?
Yeah, of course there is.
Like if you bet and get raised, it's not a great situation.
It sucks. It sucks, of course.
Now we don't ever really want to have the sort of mindset that if we don't want to do something in case something bad happens. Mm-hmm. But it can lead us, to make maybe better decisions, especially heads up, where we have a pair and you really don't want to face serious heat. The more money you put into this pot, the stronger his range becomes, and the less likely it is that 10-5 is good by the river. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, I think you can check, but I think betting small, like if he's not going to check raise wide enough, then betting small with your whole range is probably going to be absolutely fine. Mm-hmm. Can we value bet this river?
That's a question. Like flush draw missed, 7-8 missed.
Most of those hands you would double barrel, right? So you might not put you like on those kind of hands.
Like if we go for value bet, it's kind of greedy. Like I'm okay with checking it. And
there's not much that he can call. Like he needs ace high or king high to call.
I think we split, right?
Yeah. Okay, so sort of very low equity bluff. Is this something that you normally do?
Yeah, like the flop is pretty static. Like there's just a lot of hands that he just folds. Basically, I think it's very good to go for.
Okay.
Up there.
Yeah, another spot here where you're probably like the EV of betting and checking here is probably pretty similar. What checking is going to be, actually that's yeah, I think that's probably true. I just think that when you bet and he calls, like now he has higher equity going into the turn because he folds everything that's worse than your hand now. Yep. Whereas when you check, like yes, okay, we can deny equity by betting, but we also keep his range wide by checking. So I think that's something to just think about. It's unfortunate, but okay. Yeah, I think when we have a pair, like we just generally don't want to fold heads up. It's just not a great pair, is it? And like having a 4 might be better, but really, yeah, I think I mean this reason 4 if you had like 5-4, 7-4, like you have a pair and a gut shot, even 4-3. Yeah, I just don't think you can fold a pair here. I think you have have to continue. But a lot of players are just really just playing their hand face up. So you know, he's sitting there with 7-6 and he's just betting now.
Yep.
Okay, thoughts here?
It looks strong. Like, he kept it pretty straightforward. He was controlling the situation as well. It wasn't like he was opening every hand, like he was folding and just picking his spots. So anytime he did something, I just gave it a lot of credit.
Yeah.
You know, and I think I was right. Like, he was really controlling the situation, folding to my min opens pre as well.
Yeah.
This is the first time he 3-bets. Like, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that was the first 3-bet.
Yeah, it wasn't like, you know, he was a chip leader, so he was adding a ton of pressure and just doing, like, he was just like chilling and waiting for me to, you know, get into trouble.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
I just thought he's playing this pretty straightforward.
Yeah. Right, what are we doing here?
3x, or we can get it in as well.
Yeah, why would 3x be better than shoving?
Because he can shove on us back.
Yeah, with like 2 through 7s, which is ideal.
Yeah,
absolutely. Why would shoving be better?
Why would shoving be better?
Yeah.
I'm not sure if making his call in range tight is better.
Yeah.
It's actually not, right? Like, is it like we give ourselves a chance to win 8k in the pot, or, you know, 8k that's in the pot, but that doesn't change much?
Yeah, I mean, the reason for shoving for me would be that, like, if you raise to 3x now, he could just flat in position, and 8s is going to see a lot of bad flops. It's definitely profitable to shove, and I would say that if he's going to respond by calling a 3-bet rather than shoving versus a 3-bet, then you definitely want to just shove rather than 3x. So, and you have like the perfect set. You have 23 bigs. Like, you're going to want to shove like 3s here, so you want to shove pocket 8s as well. Yeah, this is good. Like it.
I shoved.
Yep.
Nice.
Get the aces and he folds. Ooh. Okay. So, what do you want to do here?
Flat, we can 3-out as well.
Yeah, again, like, I think you probably couldn't shove, honestly.
You think we can shove as well?
Yeah, but flatting or shoving. I don't think I want to 3-bet this hand. Like, making it 18k or 20k is, yeah, I would just shove. Yeah, but flatting seems okay as well. Bet a card for him. He checks. Yeah. Okay.
I was thinking about hero calling with king high.
Yeah. Does he take this sizing with a bluff?
That's the thing. That's why I didn't call. I'm like,
yeah. This screams a lot of strength, I think. Like, it's really tempting to call, but I think it's very unlikely.
I was thinking about it. I was thinking about it, but then, you know, the sizing made me want to fold.
Yeah, that's good. Okay, ace deuce. Okay, versus the 3-bet. What do you want to do here?
Make a fold.
Yeah.
Do you think we can flat as well?
I mean, against him, this is the second 3-bet in the whole heads up. Like, I think, yeah, flatting seems, I mean, doesn't feel great. Doesn't seem great. So I think, I think folding against this guy is good. Honestly, fold. Okay, so you do check a bottom pair sometimes. Okay.
I switched up. I saw it doesn't work on him.
Yeah, and then check or bet here.
I'll probably check.
Yeah.
You think you can go for value out of like ace highs?
Well, that's basically it, isn't it? But a lot of his ace highs are going to jam or 3-bet pre, right? So I think checking's good. Yeah, it's good. Okay, tell me why you don't bet here.
Yeah, we could bet for sure on a board like this. Like, he's gonna fold a ton of hands.
Yeah, exactly.
Like this.
Again, like 9s shoves pre or 3-bets pre. A lot of his ace X 3-bets pre. You have the Queen of Hearts, so it blocks a lot of flush draws he can continue with.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, we can definitely bet here.
Yeah. And like, now we just want to try and get the showdown. Yeah. Okay, raise. You have 25 bigs here.
Mm-hmm.
What do you want to do?
I think I 3-betted, but I wish I shoved.
Yeah. So again, like it's like the eights hand. It's some sort of similar value that you, if you 3-bet and he flats, you're gonna miss the board 2/3 of the time and really not know what to do a lot of the time.
Yeah.
So I think I would just shove here and like, you know, if he's sitting there with ace jack, ace 10, like he calls. King queen probably, king queen suited probably calls. So you do get called by worse here. It's not like you never get called by worse. Plus you have a ton of fold equity. It's just really profitable jam.
Yeah.
But now
it's exactly what happened. I
3x and he flats
and we miss.
And it's like, okay, now what? So let's see what we did. Yeah, I think honestly you should probably bet smaller. Like again, you want to have a really easy decision here. So I bet like 7.5k. And if he shoves, you just fold and save yourself 3k. Yeah, okay, nice hand.
I wish I shoved. This was a key hand in my opinion, because after this it was just like...
Yeah. This has got to be close. Do you think this is definitely a shove?
Nope. Not definitely. Depends on his call and range, I would say.
Yeah, it's... I think it's pretty wide. Shove. I think you could just start limping as well. Like you don't have to raise all the time. Yeah, that's good. Okay, so you go for a min raise now. I mean, this looks pretty strong now. You shoved for the same size stack with the 7-3, and now you're min raising. Also, like again, this is a hand you're going to miss the board a lot of the time. You really like you want to put this in your shoving range. I think for what is it, like 12.5 bigs. Yeah, I think.
I don't know why I was doing all this tricky stuff instead of just shoving. Once again, we miss.
Nice river. Yeah, nice hand. Okay, this looks like the last hand. Looks like a good call to me. Yeah. Oh, sorry.
Runner, flush. Oh my god.
Yeah, cool. Okay, so there's a few things to work on there. It's like the ICM specific stuff is like the raise calling with the king jack suited. And so just with the heads up, like looking for spots to check. Like if you were going to strengthen someone's range by betting, I think you want to have a stronger range to be able to do that, or at least have an opportunity to barrel turns and rivers to put pressure on that range. With bottom pairs, okay, yes, we can bet for protection, but when we do get called, it's kind of it, and we're kind of waving a white flag on lots of turns and rivers.